Welcome to our first episode of our podcast. I decided to do this podcast because I am an older person and I realize that the young people, they're suffering. So I'd like to share some of my life experiences, and I also have my children with me so they can show or tell their young people experiences, because when I was a young person I didn't have the same experience as they do. So my son is Glenn, he's the youngest.
Hi, what's up?
And Joni, she's
Second to last.
Second to last.
Howdy, everybody.
And Mia, she's the second.
Hey there.
And my oldest is not here today. She will join us maybe, I don't know, randomly sometimes. And so today I want to talk about a struggle I notice a lot of people are having is with love, finding love. And I have my years of experience and I want to share my experience because you don't have to make mistakes to learn. You can learn from other people's life experience. You know that if you put your hand on the stove, it's going to burn you. Not because you've done it before, but you've learned from other people's experience. So that's what we're here to do today, to share our life experiences and hopefully to help people to navigate through life more easily. So our first topic is, how do we find love? So I'm going to have maybe my kids say how or where you find love. I'm not saying they're an expert. We're not experts. We're not counselors. We're just sharing our experiences. So who would like to begin?
Joni, I feel like you should start because you found love. So tell us about your experience with that.
Well, I met my love, what you might call a more traditional way. Not really. I met him in person through a mutual friend. I never tried dating apps. Anyone I'd dated before I met through a mutual friend or, randomly, like in person. A lot of people use apps now, but I don't know how successful that is.
Okay. I want to say what I find that the apps, dating now is different from when I was dating. We used to, as Joni did, you met somebody randomly. When you went to a party, you met somebody. You met them through a friend. But now people are going on apps and they're meeting multiple people. So I think that changes things somehow, because you do not get the chance to get to know one person, because there's so many choices out there. There's so many, I can date him tonight and date him tomorrow, and you don't give that one person a chance to get to know them because you have so many choices. But before I get into that, does anyone have any other ideas as to how to find love or where to go and find it?
I personally don't use dating apps. I have used dating apps, but I got catfished.
On a dating app?
I got catfished on a dating app.
What app was it?
I had a few of them. I downloaded a few of them at the same time. I don't remember it. I downloaded like Bumble. I didn't use Tinder because it was like overly like hookup culture. Yeah, but it was like I kind of just downloaded a few, and it was hard to keep up with, but two, I got catfished, and then the third thing is, even the times that I didn't get catfished, it was like I was not able to feel the people's energy. Like, you can see how they look and you can think that they look good, but then their energy is, not the same, whereas like looks don't matter that much when you like bump into a person and you guys click and you guys like really like are having good conversation, and like I just feel like getting to know somebody in person is like how I want it to go. And I don't want to meet them like in a club or something. I just want to like do what I like to do. Like I think that you should like, if you like, for example, Joni pottery, or like I like music, and then Glennie likes video games, and you can go to like a video game convention, or you know, somewhere where people like to do what you like to do, and then you feel their energy out. But yeah, that's what I think.
So when you got catfished, did you meet them in person, or did you find out before meeting them in person?
No,
Neither of us?
I got in their car, and because they told me what car they had, I mean,
Stranger danger.
well, it's stranger danger when you use those apps anyway, because you're meeting up with, you know.
Yeah, but you got in his
and,
car.
You gotta lock the doors.
Welcome.
It's like smoke. It's like gas.
Okay, I took the risk. I mean, that was a little risky, but I took the risk, and you know, I mean, if you're gonna take the risk, carry personal protection like pepper spray. But I took the risk, and you know, I was like, okay, I'll try. And we spoke on the phone, and I was like, okay, if I get a super bad vibe, but he seemed chill. Okay, it was a risk. But I got in his car, and I looked at him, and I was like,
You're not the same person.
this isn't you. And I was like, so like the picture on your page, he was like, yeah, you know, it's from a few years ago, and it kind of could have looked like him, but really it looked like it was his cousin or something.
Eesh.
Like his cuter cousin that he, you know, like it could have been him from years ago, but
He fell off.
it didn't look like him. I confronted him too in the middle of it. I was just like, that's not you. And he was like, yes it is, like, you know, it's me, it's just old. And I was like, no it's not. It's not you. You're nice, but you know, that picture, it was deceitful.
So basically, you guys don't recommend the dating apps.
I wouldn't say that. I just think I would proceed with caution, and I wouldn't get my hopes up.
Glennie?
I think it's fine.
Have you had a dating app? Have you downloaded dating apps?
No.
Why not?
I prefer in person. I don't think dating apps are bad. You know, just like, you know, look out for yourself. I think, honestly, the biggest thing with dating apps is it just changes, like, how people view the process of dating. It's more normalized to, like, date several people at once. Whether if it's, like, one at a time, then people do it one at a time because it's in person. But if you're on a dating app, I feel like it's more normal now. People see, like, oh, you're dating multiple people. And it also, like, raises the question of, are you okay with someone dating multiple people?
Yeah.
Or, you know, adds that extra barrier.
Yeah, it's a lack of trust actually, because I feel a lot of people, if they know you're dating several people, they're gonna like,
Yeah, but
I don't know.
I don't know. I think if you're going on a dating app, you have to go in there with the knowledge that they're going to be dating other people, you're going to be dating other people, and then it has to come to a point where you're like, okay, what are we?
Yeah.
And then you decide, okay, I'm going to stop talking to other people, are you? Or, you know, come to that mutual agreement.
okay.
What dating apps would you guys think are the best ones?
I've never used them, so I can't say.
Neither have I.
I think that it depends on what you want. Like, they have dating apps where the girl has to make the first move. I wouldn't recommend Tinder unless you want to hook up. It's very hookup culture.
Yeah.
I've heard good things about Coffee Meets Bagel.
I've heard good things about that. I've heard good things about Match.com, how it's like their algorithm is the best.
Oh.
Is the best, the most effective, I guess.
I didn't even know Match.com was still a thing.
And I've heard a lot of things about like high end dating apps, like for people who are very career driven or like rich people. Like
Ooh,
I've
rich
heard of
people.
something called The League, and that's like, you know, like
Sounds sport related.
the thing was, well, you know how they say like somebody's out of your league,
Mm.
you know.
Oh, so
You know.
they're all in this one league together.
Yeah, and there's other ones. I can't really remember the name of them right now. But for people who are higher class or, you know, things like that. And then, but speaking of dating apps, what about speed dating? What about speed dating?
Never done that
Like
before.
a speed dating session?
Yeah, like you go to a restaurant and
I was thinking if I was single, I would do that, but I'm not single.
You would do speed dating? Have you done it before?
Nope.
You've done speed dating before?
I've done speed dating before. I've done speed dating, and they have different categories as well. I went to speed dating for people who had college degrees and up. I went to a speed dating which was postgraduate degrees and up. But I met a guy there who he only had his bachelor's degree, and he was like, yeah, I just came because, you know, I didn't really care. And I was like,
But other people care.
why are you here?
Mm-hmm.
And then I also went to this one. It wasn't speed dating, but it was this dating, like it was this mingle, and it was called Rescue Me, and it was
Rescue you from what?
it was the girls just had to be 21 and up, but the guys had to be first responders, like firefighters,
Ooh.
paramedics.
Okay.
So, you know, Rescue Me.
Okay. That's kind of cute, actually.
So how successful do you think people, have you ever met anyone who got married to someone they met on a dating app?
Oh,
Yeesh. I know of one girl, I don't know her personally, but she met a guy on a dating app. She got married pretty soon and got divorced pretty soon also.
Mm-hmm.
But then the next guy that she met, I think, also was from a dating app, and she got married to him pretty quickly. And I think they're still together.
Mm.
It's been a couple of years.
Mm.
Mia, do you know anyone?
One. I
Are
think
they
they
happy?
said plenty of fish.
Okay.
It was you knew them more than I knew them.
Oh,
And I think they're still happily married.
They are happily married, yes. Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, I guess it just depends on what, you know,
Oh,
what.
we also know another couple.
Oh. Okay.
Yes,
Oh.
but another one too.
Oh.
Oh.
No. A very close person to us.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Wasn't that an app?
Yeah. That was on an app. That was on
Yeah.
an app. That was on.
But I don't know about.
Mm.
I wouldn't really count that
Well,
one.
anyway, I guess you can. I guess you.
Why'd you say it like that?
You don't know about that one.
I said I wouldn't really count that one.
Oh. I guess you can meet people in different ways. So I guess whatever works for you. But I also found that I guess you can meet people, but is it going to last? Are you going to meet the right people? Or, you know, are you going to be, have the self-confidence? Because what I've found is that a lot of young people, they don't know their own value, their own worth. When I say that, I mean everyone has this thing where, oh, there's only this one person for me, and I'm going to do whatever I can to make it work. And, you know, they hold on and grasp on and cling for life to a relationship that's not working for them.
But I don't think that's dating apps' fault. I think that's just access to technology, period.
Well, I think I'm getting a little ahead of you guys.
Oh.
So maybe I'm jumping the gun here. Okay, so we're talking about ways to meet people. Dating apps, doing things that you love, doing the things you love, going to parties, going out, living your everyday life, right?
Yeah.
And so those are ways you can meet people.
Right.
And I guess what I'm trying to say, I'm going beyond that now. Okay, so those are the ways. We cover all the ways or possible ways to meet people.
No, well,
I
oh
feel
wait.
like we could be more detailed on that going out part.
Okay.
Because I feel like a lot of people say going out, but then a lot of people don't know what that means.
Okay.
So I think we can be like,
Oh,
like for example, into like trivia is a good way to meet new people.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
a good
That's a really
I
good
love
way.
trivia.
It's easy to start conversation, and it's gonna attract a lot of different people because anyone can like trivia. I feel like whether it feels like I don't know, like a Harry Potter convention, you know, there's gonna be like a certain vibe that comes with that, right?
Yeah.
So I think trivia is a
It's
good
a
one.
specific.
It's more broad.
Yeah.
Yeah, trivia is like anybody can like trivia.
Mm-hmm.
I like.
so well, going out and living your life, doing things, doing fun things, and not necessarily going out looking for somebody, but just going out and say, hey, I'm going to go out with friends, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Church.
Church.
For those who do that.
That is
How do you
actually.
feel about meeting people at church?
I actually heard of people who got married because they met in church.
Who?
Well, no one from my personal life, but just from experiences that I've heard from a lot of different sources.
there's
Okay.
there's
People who
nothing
meet during church.
there's nothing wrong. You meet people where you meet people. I'm not a church goer, so and I wouldn't go just to meet people. But that's a place to meet people at church. But it doesn't mean that, you know, church people are just like everybody else.
Yeah, they're not
So-
going to be. There's not a guaranteed you're going to find a great person or
No.
a great match.
No. So basically, there's nothing wrong with church. You meet people wherever. And sometimes when you meet someone in church, it tells you something about them, something about their personality. At least they're God-fearing. At least,
Yeah.
you know, they, not unless they go just to meet people, but they're God-fearing. They may believe in God. And so if that's the type of person you want in your life, maybe that's a good place to go to
Yeah.
find someone. So I guess I did this not necessarily to tell people where to go, because I believe that you can find someone by going to the 7-Eleven. You can find someone by going to the supermarket. The point is, what I find, what?
Nothing.
She says supermarket because I do
Supermarket.
Instacart.
You know,
The supermarket every day.
I think it's kind of essential for you to have some self-confidence. And I find that if you have self-confidence, people just attract. People just say if you have a smile on your face, you walk with a smile on your face, people just say hi to you. Hi, how are you today? And you're like, oh, I'm fine. And you know, you're not necessarily looking for anybody, but people will gravitate to you. It's like a magnet. So before you can meet anybody, I think you need to work on yourself, on your self-esteem. And you need to, I'm going back to what I said in the beginning, you need to know your value. And I find a lot of young people don't know their value. They put so much emphasis on the other person. I want to say this, there are lots of fish in the sea. It's true. I don't believe in soulmates. I believe that you can have many soulmates. There's not just this one person. Because, you know, the reason why I wanted to attack this is to show you that, or maybe have you investigate the fact that don't waste your time on one love or being devastated because somebody is not treated the way you want to be treated, and you're like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? No, it's not you. Most of the time, 90% of the time, it's not you. And I find that that's the missing link in the younger generation. They blame themselves. And as I'm an older woman, I realize that, it's not me. I mean, you have to be a decent person. You have to treat people right, right? But once you know you're doing that already, once you know, hey, I'm fair, I'm a decent person, I'm faithful, I'm doing all the right things, and they are messing up, it's not you. And so once you have that confidence in yourself, and you know your worth, and that you're giving it your best, if someone wants to leave you, you're gonna feel bad, but just let them go. I'm serious.
Sad.
You'll feel sad. You feel sad for a few days, but you let it go, because you know that a person like you is hard to find. So you're gonna have that type of confidence. And once you have that type of confidence, you're not gonna cling on to a bad relationship, or, cling on to someone who's not treating you right. And we're talking about finding love. You know what? Sometimes you can be by yourself too. You don't necessarily have to always have love in your life. You can be by yourself.
Get some cats.
Yeah, get a cat, get a dog.
Be a cat lady. Or cat
man.
Cat man.
Cat man.
Or cat person.
Whoa, it's
Cat.
a furry.
They.
Well, I guess to add on to that, you said it's important to find your value. I think it's also important to find what you value. You gotta know what you want, I feel like, as well.
Ooh.
There was this show, not a show, it's like a YouTube series. It's called The Button.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And one thing I noticed a lot is people wouldn't find matches because they didn't really know what they wanted.
So
And
it would just be saying no to every little
they just
thing.
button everybody.
Or yes to everything.
Or it'd be like, I feel like there's more out there. And, I mean, you shouldn't settle. But
Right.
you should also kind of know what you value so that when it aligns with someone else's,
So you mean like
this is it.
know what you're looking for?
Yeah,
in a
know what you're
person.
looking for. Know
Okay.
your value and know what you value. I feel is also pretty important too. Because you're not going to find anyone if you don't even know what you're looking for.
Yeah, you're always gonna be like,
Yeah. So I think
what else is there?
I think it's like also important to, that's why you want to like start dating, like take that first step, because then you start figuring out what works for you and what doesn't. I feel like that's pretty important too.
And sometimes we date and you kind of have to know, okay, dating for me or finding someone has to feel good. If it doesn't feel good, so that's how you're going to know what you want and what you don't want. If it doesn't feel good, something's off. Because usually when you meet somebody for the first time, it should feel good.
Yeah.
It should feel, and if that doesn't feel good, you say, oh no, something's wrong here. I've heard that sometimes people meet somebody and they go into relationships and they get abused and they're like, well, I didn't know. I thought it was normal. But abuse is not a norm. I mean, if it doesn't feel right, not unless you love being abused.
Well,
What?
like masochism?
Like you said
I don't
masochism?
see in
Masochism.
Yeah.
S&M.
No, most people don't want that. Most not people I know of.
No, most people. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're right.
most people don't want that.
I don't know what most people want in the bedroom. I don't know.
Anyway, that's not our conversation.
I didn't think we were talking about.
I think the key things that I want people to come away with is you have to have self-confidence. You have to love yourself. As Glennie said, you have to know what you want, know what you're looking for, and you have to be appreciative also of others. You kind of have to know I think maybe it comes with experience, but you have to know when you find a good person, you have to know, okay, this is a good person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a good person is usually somebody who's treating you the right way. Somebody who's not verbally putting you down, physically, verbally, abusive, physical, or emotional. Yes. So you have to know what is. So I guess that comes with some experience.
Mm-hmm.
But you shouldn't be 40, right, and have running after some guy who's married and seeing you once a week and all that kind of stuff.
Yeesh.
Ooh.
Believe me, it happens.
Yeah.
So you should be looking for somebody who's going to value you, and if you can't find that person, you don't date anybody. Period.
I think it's also like important to say that just because somebody is a good person also doesn't mean that they're your good person. Like you have to feel like you can be yourself around them, and you also have to like have the same type of like lifestyle expectancy. So like if you're super active and you can be with somebody who's not, but just know that like you'll be influenced by them not wanting to go out and like exercise with you, or if you like to go out and party all the time. Not sometimes people don't want to be that person that stays home and waits home. They want to have a lifestyle with somebody who likes to be home and watch Netflix on a Friday night like they do. Also, like spending habits. Some people want to prioritize their money in one place, and then the person that you're with wants to prioritize it in another place. And when you guys join, if you guys are ever to join forces in the future, that could be a problem. Like sometimes you meet somebody and you're like, you're a great person, but we're just not compatible. Like,
Yeah, I
we're
guess.
just not compatible.
The spark.
Or they're good, but you feel like you always have to like put on face for them, and then you're just living in a skin
Well,
the
did I say
entire
good?
time.
Well,
No,
I
good. They have to be good.
guess what I'm also saying, of course, compatible.
Yeah.
I mean, but good is better than not good.
And look at how they treat other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Look at how they treat.
What's the word? Like mandatory, not mandatory, but like critical services, like cashiers and stuff.
Right. Like waitresses,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
people who are serving you. Look at how they speak to them.
The garbage man.
I don't know how much interacting with the garbage man they'll have, but look how they speak to them. Look how they speak to your family, your friends.
Yeah, and if they're not cool with your friends, that's kind of like also it's not like a deal breaker, but if you want to hang out with your friends and you want to like join and like they don't really like any of your friends, it's kind of like it should raise attention. I think like if they don't like anybody that you hang out with and they just I mean sometimes it could be normal and your significant other doesn't have to be best friends with your best friends, but like if you I don't know, like
Just be able to hang out with them.
yeah, to just be chill and just do the same things. It's almost like if you can't hang out with any of my friends, like what's wrong with you? They're chill, like they're not asking for too much or anything. They're just they're open because usually my friends are going to be very open to you, like and just with open arms. And maybe you don't want to hang out with them all the time, but like if you don't get along with any of them, I don't know.
Well, dating is complicated. Life is complicated. But I guess if you live by, and nobody's saying that there's a solution for everything and a right way for everybody. But I guess you kind of have to just have certain rules, live by certain rules and have certain boundaries and know what you like and what you don't like and stick to it and not compromise, your values and love yourself first. I don't mean not to love other people, but love yourself and make sure that anybody who comes into your life is there for you and is going to treat you the way you want to be treated.
How did you know, for the people with relationships, that the person that you're with is compatible with you?
Well, nobody's going to be 100% compatible in the sense that, you like to do certain things that they may not like to do. But as long as you're happy most of the time, to me, that's the way I judge it. As long as you're happy most of the time and, you're not up at night worried about stuff and, you know, um, let's say you like bowling and they don't like bowling, but they like something else that you like. And you have something that you have in common that you do and you enjoy doing together. So when night for bowling comes, you just go do your bowling. You're not going to say, well, you don't want to go bowling with me, so we're not compatible. No. As long as you have something that the two of you enjoy doing together. So it's not going to be 100% compatibility. But as long as it's most of the time or most of the things you want to do, that they're willing to join you. So nobody's perfect, so you can't expect perfection.
Joni?
Ditto.
Okay.
You had
You had an answer too?
You said ditto, so I didn't think you had to. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I could be myself around him. I could be like weird and like goofy, and it's like reciprocated. Like he can be weird and goofy too. Like Mom said, everyone has their flaws, but every time, like anytime we're away from each other, I'm like, oh, I wonder when we're gonna see each other again.
Yeah.
Aww.
And sometimes when you're together, you're like, I want to go going. Aren't you going somewhere?
Yeah, I'm like, all right, I'm ready to be by myself again, but
Yeah. So you were answering the question. What question did you answer?
How
I
do you
don't
know that?
How do you know if
I
you're
don't have
compatible?
anybody. Why am I leading into this? I don't. I don't know. I said, how did you know you were compatible with the person that you're with now?
Okay.
I don't know, our conversation just like when we first met, it just like I don't know. Yeah, there was like a spark.
So you were asking me like personally, how do I know?
Yeah. How did
I
you?
thought you were saying
Well,
in general how people know they're compatible.
Well, you
Okay.
also have a success.
I'm going to tell you. All right.
You've been with your person for how long? 10 years.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So I love to dance. So that's my deal breaker. I said, look, we got to go dancing. During COVID, he was like, whoopee, we don't have to go dancing. No. I said, not that. So after COVID, we went, but we love to go dancing. So I love that. And we have fun. We laugh a lot in the sense of, he's funny and he thinks I'm funny.
Yeah.
Right? What do we do together? We our interest is trading, like stocks. So we have that, we like to do that. I think it's important if you have something that you like to do together.
Mm-hmm.
So that's your bond, right? And what else do we like? Just telling jokes and being funny and going out dancing once in a while and trading stocks during the week. And we love to go to Antigua once in a while too. So but we're not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
compatible.
No one is.
He doesn't like to travel too much, and I love to travel. So that's my it doesn't bother me that much. A little bit, but not much. But my deal breakers are, the thing is, the reason why it's okay is because I have deal breakers. Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Where there's certain things,
Non-negotiables.
there's certain things you can't do. I mean, I have to be the only person in your life. There's no sharing. I'm like ready to walk out the door if any of that is to occur. There's no verbal abuse, no calling me names or anything like that. no physical abuse. You can't touch me, hit me, nothing. Um, those are my three. I'm out the door, right?
Mhm.
And as long as those three things aren't happening, I'm willing to work with you. So,
Mm.
yeah.
Well, we're talking about like compatibility, right?
Yeah.
I think a good way to know if you're compatible with someone is if you feel like you can be yourself around them. I think that's one of them. And then, like, you feel like you shouldn't change your personality when you're with them. I feel like that's how you know like you're compatible. Because compatibility is how well you interact with someone else. And if you're genuine, that means you compatible, right? And then I feel like another one is if honestly I don't know if this is even true. But it's do you have to think about it? Like, am I compatible with this person? I feel like if you're thinking about it, then maybe not. But if you don't have to think about it, right? It seems seamless. Then I feel like that's good for compatibility. And I know for me, if we make each other laugh, then that's like, that's how you know. Because
Yeah.
humor, if you share humor, that's a really big thing.
Mhm.
Yeah. I met someone that said they don't have to make them laugh.
Mm-mm.
They don't have to make. They don't have
Because
to,
they haven't
but
they haven't experienced what it's like.
To laugh.
I mean,
maybe.
when you meet somebody and the two of you can just, and I think the laughter doesn't necessarily happen in the beginning.
Mm.
In the sense of you get to know each other,
Mhm.
right? And you get to know your quirks and all that type of stuff. And I think as well, the person needs to be a little funny. You can tell if they're funny or not. They'll, not that there's a joke and then just looking at you. So they have
Or
to
like,
have, you have to know that, okay, this person is funny. But I think as the relationship progresses, they get to know you, you get to know them, and sometimes they'll crack a joke based on something that maybe you did, and somehow it has to do with what they learned about you and all that. It's to me, my relationship has evolved recently to that point where we're laughing almost every day. We're in the house, he could be cooking something and he'd say something funny, something about something, and I can't even say some of the jokes, but he'd say something and nothing. It's going to be,
inappropriate.
yes. And then you know that the person is going to laugh when you say it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but I think that comes from being together for a while.
Yeah.
So,
Or
yeah.
like you can predict, like something happens and you know exactly what they're gonna say about it.
Yes. Yeah. You know what they're thinking.
You're like, I knew you were gonna say that.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. So I guess what we're summarizing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just want to say life is complicated and there's no simple solution to everything or everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to come away with you can meet people anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But especially if you have self-confidence, if you love yourself, they see it in you. People gravitate to you when you love yourself and you and they stick with you too, because sometimes you can attract people to you, but they don't stay. Right? They don't stay because you have issues. So if you love yourself, look, I came a long way. I learned what I know now, maybe when I hit my 40s. And I was saying, my gosh, if I knew then what I know now. But let me get back to the summary because I don't know if I'm that good at summarizing this. But you can meet people on the street, walk into the store, any place. I think what you have to bring with you is your self-confidence, your self-love.
Shoot your shot.
Yeah, and you have to work on yourself too. You can't be an Can I say asshole? You can't be, and expect to find somebody good. So you kind of have to do some work on you, too, to be a decent person and also to attract a decent person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And be willing to walk away from what's not for you. Like,
Exactly.
Immediately.
Yeah, don't
Yes.
get too attached too fast.
I mean, even just...
Just like,
Yeah, be willing to
you're
walk
right,
away.
you're right.
Because there is more fish in the sea. Believe me. Look, when I was younger, I loved this guy so badly. Oh my God. And I'm thinking now, I'm like, Denise, girl, you wasted all those years.
Mm-hmm.
You wasted all that time. Because you sometimes feel as if you're not going to find somebody like that person.
Yeah.
Or maybe that person has some physical attribute that you like and you think, oh my God, no, there are more of them out there. You just have to have the self-confidence. Okay, and the most valuable thing in any relationship is somebody who loves you, right? And treats you right. And if you're not getting that, nothing is worth it. The relationship, if you're not getting it, if somebody's treating you badly, right? It doesn't matter how handsome they are, how attractive they are, how rich they are, and they're not treating you right, they're not for you. Period. You want to feel good. That's our goal in life, to feel good. Any relationship that's not making you feel good is not for you. There's more fish in the sea.
There are
more fish in the sea. So, yeah, that's what I want to walk away. I don't know if I forgot something.
I think that's good. I think that's a wrap, guys.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening to our podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe, and tune in next time for more content from all of us. Bye.
Welcome to our podcast.
Somebody.
You guys are laughing at me. Today,
rewind.
All right. All right, guys. Thanks for listening to our podcast. Glennie, are you even looking?
I can't tell because of the red dot. Okay,
All right. Let's just look at the thing.
Okay.
And smile.
All right, and smile. All right, and tune in to make sure that you are catching us next week and every week.
To make sure that you are catching us next week.
Sweet.
What are we saying? Like, okay, thanks for. All right. Okay.
Take 3.
You want to. All right, I'm starting again. Honey, are you gonna look or are you gonna.
Well,
All right.